How to get your ex back. As a relationship coach specializing in breakups, the most common question I get asked is, how do I get my ex back? That's the question that I'll be answering in depth right here on this page. Keep reading. A complete guide to getting your ex back after years of analyzing and dissecting the psychology of relationships and why people break up. I've been able to develop a definitive method that will ensure you will have the best possible chance of getting your ex to come running back. I know, this might sound too good to be true, and unfortunately, in some cases, it is too good to be true, but if you properly implement these simple yet powerful psychological tactics I'm about to explain, you will optimize your chances of making your ex attracted to you again. This leads me to the first step in my process. Step 3. Reconnecting with your ex. How will you know when your ex is ready to be contacted? Well, you won't. But there are some key steps to take after you finish the no contact phase. If you've just recently broken up with your ex and you haven't begged, pleaded, or contacted your ex, then 30 days is usually enough time for you to wait. However, if you have done any of the above, then you need to at least double that length of time. Depending on how many mistakes you've made since your ex broke up with you, you need to extend the isolation period accordingly. In fact, when in doubt, wait longer. Hopefully during this time you'll have been dating, hanging out with friends, working out, and keeping busy with new hobbies. Now it's time to attract your ex back into your life. I recommend contacting your ex via text message or private social media message, Facebook, Snapchat, etc. Under no circumstance should you be calling your ex at this point. Why? Calling at this point is far too forward. You'll want to take things slow at first, not ambush them out of the blue. Besides, calling just screams desperation. At this point, you don't want to convey anything at all. What you'll want to do is pose what I call a non-threatening question. This is a question that has a purpose. You aren't contacting your ex to say hello. You aren't asking them out on a date. The only reason you're contacting him or her is to ask them a legitimate, non-threatening question. For example, you'll want to send a text message that says something like, "Hey, just was wondering the name of that restaurant we went to on New Year's. Hope all is well with you." This question has two components. One, it asks a question that needs to be answered, and only your ex can answer it. Secondly, it doesn't demand attention. You end it with something like, "Hope all is well," because it suggests that you don't really care if your ex gets back to you or not. If your ex does respond, chances are if you've been following my advice up to this point, your ex will reply. If your ex does reply, you're in business. You're going to want to keep conversing, but don't get ahead of yourself or try to seal the deal in the first conversation. Instead, just engage in some small talk with a few short, upbeat messages back and forth and then quickly end the conversation. But wait. Don't reply too quickly. When you do eventually reply, leave at least an hour in between text messages. Yes, you heard me, at least an hour. You don't want to blow it now, do you? Avoid any chance of appearing needy in the eyes of your ex by never being too eager or replying to their messages too quickly. Keep up the small talk, and end the conversation abruptly. Sign off with a message like, "Okay, thanks. I have to go to my yoga class, talk soon." Or, "Sorry, nice chatting, but I gotta run, catch up again soon." You'll want to be the one ending the conversation in these scenarios. Why? Again, you'll want to appear as if you don't care too much. Right now, you just want to make it known to your ex that you exist but not that you miss them or need them in any way. After this period, wait another week until you contact your ex again. Continue this process until you become friendly with your ex again. If your ex does not reply. If your ex doesn't reply, don't worry. The thing is, there could be a multitude of reasons why your ex isn't responding. Maybe he or she is busy, tired, away, etc. There are a ton of reasons, so don't get too concerned yet. If your ex ignores you and doesn't reply, then there's one rule you need to remember: don't text your ex again. If you continually text your ex, you will be jeopardizing the whole operation. You've made it this far, so don't mess it up. You'll be tempted to text again right away, but instead, focus on yourself again. Go out with friends, and do anything you can to keep your mind off things. Wait at least 1 to 2 weeks before you try again. Step 4. The magnetic attraction period. At some point in your interactions with your ex, you're going to have to set up a meeting in person. Remember, you need to have a good reason to do anything with your ex, so be prepared to come up with a good excuse to chat with your ex. If you're confused about this, let me jump right into an example. Hey you! I've always known you had a better eye for interior design than me. I'm trying to renovate my kitchen and wanted your opinion on some stuff. Let's get together for coffee so you can give me some advice? Or, guess what? I'm planning a trip to Peru this winter. Mind if we get together for a coffee so I can grill you with some questions? I know you're an expert after your time living there. You need to be posing as a friend for now. As of right now, nothing sexual should come out of this, at least not yet. You'll be wanting to make sure you tell your ex that this will be a short and sweet meeting. Your ex will be intimidated and possibly turned off if you suggest a very long meeting, so make it clear this meetup will be brief and casual. Once the actual date occurs, you need to turn up the sexual chemistry, start flirting. Flirting is the #1 way to spark attraction again and compel your ex to think of you in a sexual manner. Don't know how to flirt? Don't worry, I've got you covered. 1. Touch, touch, touch. It doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl. Touching is a form of communication. Go to a public place and observe friends and lovers communicate with each other. Chances are, they'll be touching each other in some way. Something as simple as giving somebody a high five is an incredibly bonding experience between two human beings. Finally, look how couples interact. Kissing, holding hands, and hugs are fundamental bonding gestures between two lovers. So make sure you touch your ex a lot in inadvertent ways. If he or she seems receptive to this, then ramp it up. Don't forget the basics of romantic attraction here, folks. Your goal is to make your ex fall back in love with you. Flirting and sexual tension are essential to making your ex love you. 2. Look them in the eyes. Eye contact is a powerful thing. Again, when it comes to building chemistry, whether sexual or otherwise, holding eye contact is essential. Don't just stare at your ex's eyes. Stare at his or her lips too. This sends very subtle sexual messages. 3. Smile at them. This shouldn't be too difficult. 4. Reminisce about sexual encounters you've had with him or her, but subtly. Try and reignite the passion by bringing up something related to a sexual moment you shared with your ex. For example, if you and your ex had a steamy sexual encounter right after the Yankees game a year ago, talk about the events immediately preceding the sexual encounter. Try and remind them how intimate and passionate it was. 5. Use humor. Obviously, a good sense of humor is a powerful aphrodisiac. Make sure that as you're flirting, you're doing all you can to make your ex laugh. Remember to keep things light. Don't talk about anything negative. Don't talk about how your relationship ended. Don't argue. Remember, chances are this is the chance to re-attract your ex back into your life. You don't want to blow things wide open at this point. After you've used all these techniques, chances are your ex will be laughing and enjoying his or her time. Once your ex is showing these signs of interest in you, you have the green light to move into a more intimate setting. That means you need to find a good excuse to invite your ex over. Again, don't forget the fundamentals of this. You need to have a good reason to invite your ex over. Say you got a new collection of fish, for instance, or recently bought a new Xbox game you know your ex will like. Whatever you do, do not just invite your ex over for no reason. This will be a red flag for them. If you're a man, you'll want to have sex with your ex as quick as possible. That means if your ex wants to have sex with you, it's on. Have sex with her by seducing her and showing her the time of her life. You'll want to do some research on how to make love and how to make sure that what she's experiencing is the best sex of her life. Make the sex unforgettable so that she'll never think about leaving you again. Women get extremely bonded with the partners they have sex with, more so than men. If your ex has sex with you, chances are the next step is how you'll get back together. If you're a woman, then don't have sex with your ex until he's ready to commit to you. Don't make it a big deal. When you invite him back, flirt. Keep flirting and make it sexual. Turn him on. However, the key here is to not have sex with him. This sort of thing will drive a man crazy. Once you do this, a little switch will go off in his mind and he'll do anything he has to have you. At this point, you'll want to set up even more subsequent dates with him and continue to turn him on. Continue being friendly, feminine, and beautiful. Pretty soon, he'll want to have the talk with you, at which point, you just need to say yes when he asks if you want to get back together. Final tips for getting your ex back. This is a pretty long article, and to be honest, I've barely scratched the surface. That's why I've written one of the all-time best-selling books on the subject, The X Factor Guide. It's also why I offer personal coaching to you get your ex back. If you're really serious about getting the love of your life back, then I implore you to watch this video that I created. It will explain to you in further detail how to make sure your ex doesn't fall in love with anyone else, and to ensure that your ex will come crawling back to you, oftentimes, on all fours.